Walk into any electronics store in 2026, and you'll swear you've stepped into a Las Vegas casino. Walls of glowing screens blasting impossible colors. Salespeople promising revolutionary processing, hyper-realistic contrast, and AI enhancements so futuristic, they sound like they were ripped straight out of a Marvel movie. Every TV claims to be the future. Every box screams 4K, 8K, quantum, ultimate, and every shopper walks out thinking they got the deal of a lifetime. But here's the truth nobody in that store will ever tell you. Most of those TVs are ticking time bombs. Some brands won't last more than 2 years. Some are built with panels that burn out faster than your phone battery. Some are so cheaply engineered, the warranty is more durable than the TV itself. And in 2026, the gap between good and garbage has never been wider. So, today we're ripping the mask off. No sponsorships, no sugarcoating. Just the raw truth about which TVs deserve a spot in your living room and which ones will make you swear you'll never step foot in a Walmart, Costco, or Best Buy ever again. Let's start from the bottom. The very bottom. Because some of these brands aren't just bad. They're, how is this even legal to sell, bad. Number 12. On. The Walmart Heartbreaker. If there was an award for TVs most likely to ruin your Saturday night, On would win every single year. And it's not the shopper's fault you see that $178 price tag. You think, hey, not bad for a 55-inch. You grab it, throw it in the cart, pick up a rotisserie chicken on the way out. Life feels good. Then 2 months later, the screen starts flickering like a haunted house. The backlight drops to half brightness. The Wi-Fi disconnects every 10 minutes. And one day, boom, it simply refuses to turn on. Here's the dark secret. On TVs are built with some of the cheapest LED backlights in the industry. Many don't survive past the first year. When the panel goes, the whole TV is basically a giant paperweight because repairs cost more than buying another one. And trust me, you don't want the another one either. Number 11. Element, the disappearing act. Element is the kind of brand that looks fine on a shelf until you actually use it. This is the TV equivalent of a sugar-coated cereal. Colorful box, fun logo, empty inside. The panels are inconsistent. The color accuracy is terrible. The dark scenes look like someone smeared petroleum jelly on the screen. And motion? Imagine watching sports through a dirty aquarium. Many Element models are rebranded generic units made in rotating factories, which means parts availability is a total nightmare. If something breaks, no parts, no support, no hope. One technician put it perfectly. An Element TV is like a scratch-off ticket. Maybe you win, but statistically, you lose. And in 2026, the odds didn't get any better. Number 10. Westinghouse, the zombie brand. Westinghouse used to mean something back in the day, not anymore. Today, the name is licensed out. Different factories, different components, zero consistency. You never know if you're getting last year's panel, leftover scraps, or a Frankenstein mix of rejected parts from 3 suppliers. The result? Some of the worst panel uniformity in the industry. Grays look blotchy, whites look dirty, blacks look blue, and the speakers? I've heard gas station radios that sound better. These TVs struggle with HDR. And by struggle, I mean they turn every HDR movie into a muddy, washed-out mess. Dark scenes, unwatchable bright scenes, blown out, and the OS performance? Whew. Imagine a smart TV that feels like it's running on a hamster wheel. Menus lag, apps freeze. Sometimes just trying to open Netflix feels like booting a Windows XP machine in 2026. No thanks. Number 9. Philips, US version only. This is the biggest brand identity crisis of all time. In Europe, Philips is a respected premium TV manufacturer. OLED panels, Ambilight, beautiful build quality. In the US, Completely different company. The name Philips is licensed to Funai, the same company behind some of the cheapest budget TVs on the market. So American shoppers walk into Costco or Walmart thinking they're buying a world-class European TV. But what they're actually getting is a budget panel with mediocre brightness, inconsistent QC, and some of the weakest HDR performance you can buy. This isn't just misleading, it's consumer sabotage. One viewer explained it best. I bought a Philips thinking I was getting a BMW. Instead, I got the shell of a BMW with the engine of a lawnmower. Exactly. If the bottom of the list is a graveyard of dead TVs, the middle of the list is a minefield. Because this is where most shoppers get fooled. These aren't the bargain bin disasters. They're the brands sitting at eye level in Best Buy. The ones with colorful demo loops. The ones that look pretty good in store lighting. The ones every salesperson calls a solid choice. But here's the catch. These are the TVs that break your heart. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly. Screen dimming, app crashes, vertical bands that show up one morning like ghostly fingerprints on the glass, fan noises, backlight failures. These are the TVs that die at exactly the moment when the warranty expires. Let's break down the dangerous middle. Number 8. Insignia, the Best Buy trap. Insignia is the brand you buy when you think you're being smart with money. You walk into Best Buy. A Samsung looks great, but it's $700. A Sony is gorgeous, but it's $1,200. And then, boom, Insignia, a 55-inch for $249 nice box. Nice demo loop. Nice promise. A lot of TV for the price. But here's the thing. Insignia isn't a TV brand. It's a strategy built on the cheapest panels Best Buy can buy in bulk, rebranded under a name that sounds harmless enough to gain your trust. And the problem with these ultra-budget panels is simple. They age like dairy. One day the brightness drops, then the colors fade, apps freeze more often, and by year 2, a third of them start showing the dreaded vertical lines, the TV equivalent of a death certificate. A technician once told me, Insignia is the brand people buy twice. Once to learn the lesson, once to correct it. Couldn't have said it better myself. Number 7. RCA, the legacy ghost. RCA is proof that a famous name doesn't mean a thing in 2026. This once iconic American brand is now a shell, a zombie logo slapped onto the cheapest offshore manufacturing possible. The number 1 complaint? Panel failures. The second? No replacement parts. None. You're done. Even worse, RCA has one of the slowest software experiences in the TV world. Imagine clicking YouTube and waiting, like you're dialing into AOL in 1997. Motion handling is terrible. Colors wash out at even slight angles. HDR looks like SDR. SDR looks like someone printed a screenshot on a napkin. And when these TVs fail, good luck finding support. Their customer service might as well be a voicemail inbox from 2012. Number 6. Toshiba, the almost good problem. Toshiba is the heartbreak story of the TV world. This brand used to dominate living rooms. Today, their TVs are manufactured through Best Buy agreements using third-party panels. Some Toshiba sets can look surprisingly good, but that's the problem. They're a gamble. You never know what you're getting. Different factories, different panels, different quality control, different lifespans. 2 people can buy the same Toshiba TV. One gets a decent panel that lasts 4 years. The other gets a Monday morning panel that burns out by year 2. And while the picture is fine, the build quality isn't. Weak backlights, flimsy frames, slow processors, and OS freezes that make you question your life choices. Toshiba is the TV equivalent of dating someone with potential, but potential doesn't pay the repair bill. Number 5. Vizio, the fall of a former champion. Now, this one hurts. Vizio used to be loved, the underdog hero, the people's brand, the great value without the premium tax. But those days are gone. Ever since the supply chain shifted and competition exploded, Vizio lost its edge. The build quality slipped. SmartCast became a glitch festival. Firmware updates made things worse, not better. And the new wave of TCL and Hisense units completely crushed Vizio in brightness, contrast, and reliability. You can still find a few decent Vizio models, but that's the problem. Few. Most 2026 Vizios have one of the following issues: dimming zones that flicker, weak HDR brightness, OS lag, app crashes, poor motion compensation, premature backlight wear. One viewer wrote, "My Vizio updated itself and somehow got worse. I don't even know how that's possible." I do. It's because Vizio is now a brand running on past reputation, while the competition eats its lunch. Number 4. Samsung, the flashy overachiever who got comfortable. Now this one will surprise people. Samsung isn't a bad brand, not at all. But in 2026, Samsung is the definition of inconsistent. The flagship models? Gorgeous. The top-tier QD mini LED sets? Incredible brightness, killer contrast, amazing gaming support. But that's not what most people buy. Most shoppers land in the mid-range, where Samsung quietly cuts corners. Edge-lit brightness that collapses in HDR scenes. Aggressive motion smoothing you can't fully turn off. Colors pushed too far to look flashy in stores. Software updates that cause random bugs. And some of the highest panel replacement costs in the industry. And let's not forget, Samsung refuses to support Dolby Vision. Every other major brand does, except them. That alone puts Samsung below TCL, Sony, and LG for many buyers. Samsung is still good, but not at the price they're asking, and not as reliable as the brands that are about to dominate the top of this list. Now we've climbed out of the bargain bin jungle and the mid-range minefield. We're entering the territory where picture quality finally starts to matter, where engineering becomes intentional, and where you're no longer gambling your paycheck on a panel that dies right after the warranty expires. These are the brands that didn't get here by accident. They earned it through real innovation, real performance, and real reliability. But each of them reached the top for very different reasons. Different philosophies, different strengths, different trade-offs. Let's break down the top 3. Number 3. LG, the OLED champion. That changed the entire industry. LG didn't just participate in the TV industry, they reinvented it. Before LG, everyone was stuck pushing LED tech to its limits, fighting blooming weak blacks, dirty screen uniformity, and marketing gimmicks pretending to be breakthroughs. Then, LG introduced OLED to the mass market, and everything changed. For the first time, people saw true blacks, perfect contrast, pixel-level lighting, cinematic color accuracy, a picture that feels like film, not flashlight through plastic. The entire industry had to evolve because of LG. In 2026, the LG C-Series and G-Series remain some of the best televisions you can buy for a serious home theater. WebOS is simple and clean, perfect for older viewers who don't want a maze of menus. And the new generation of panels includes better heat management and stronger burn-in protection. But LG isn't perfect. Their mid-range LED sets, very average. Their budget models, forgettable. And while OLED is stunning, it's still not the brightest option in a sun-filled living room. Still, LG delivers some of the best picture quality on the market, at prices far more realistic than ultra-premium brands. That's why they hold the number 3 spot. Not the most affordable, not the absolute best, but a near-perfect balance of innovation and performance. Number 2. TCL, the value monster that nobody saw coming. 10 years ago, TCL was an afterthought, a cheap import, a punchline. Today, they're one of the fastest growing TV brands in America, and for good reason. TCL didn't win with marketing, they won with performance per dollar. They doubled down on NB mini LED brightness, high contrast, aggressive dimming zones, huge screen sizes, low input lag, truly competitive pricing, and the results speak for themselves. A TCL 6 series looks better than many Samsung mid-range TVs at hundreds of dollars less. Their 98-inch giants are cheaper than some 75-inch models from competitors, and in pure brightness and contrast, TCL punches far above its weight class. But TCL isn't flawless. Some panels vary in uniformity. Motion processing isn't perfect. Budget lines can feel sluggish, and quality control isn't as consistent as premium brands. Still, when you put price next to performance, TCL is unmatched. In 2026, they are the value king. You get nearly premium picture quality without the premium tax, and that's why TCL holds the number 2 spot, number 1. Sony, the undisputed picture quality champion of 2026. If you want the best looking TV in the world, the answer is still Sony. It's not hype, it's not nostalgia, it's processing. Sony takes the same OLED panels that other brands use and makes them look better. Their motion handling is unbelievably smooth. Their color accuracy is industry-leading. Their upscaling is the best in the world. Their tone mapping turns HDR into pure cinematic magic. You can put a Sony next to an LG or Samsung with the exact same panel, and the Sony will still look more natural, richer, more immersive. That's the power of the XR cognitive processor, the secret sauce that no one else has matched. Sony isn't cheap. They're almost never the best deal. But the moment you turn on a Sony Bravia, you understand exactly where your money went. It's window glass clarity, it's real-life color, it's motion that looks so natural, it feels like the actors are standing in your living room. Even technicians admit it. Sony is the one brand I trust out of the box, no calibration needed. Sony doesn't chase gimmicks. They don't spam features. They focus on the only thing that actually matters, the picture. And that's why Sony holds the number 1 spot for 2026. Here's the truth. Nobody in the TV aisle wants you to know. Buying a TV in 2026 isn't about chasing the newest feature. It's not about AI upscaling, quantum contrast, or whatever marketing word they invented last week. It's about one thing: avoiding the traps that are designed to make your TV fail early, so you buy another one. So before you spend $1 this year, here's the final breakdown you must hear first. What you should never buy in 2026. Any TV from the bottom of this list: ON, Element, Westinghouse, or Philips US. These TVs are built to hit a price point, not a lifespan. They cut corners everywhere: weak backlights, cheap processors, inconsistent panels, slow operating systems, almost no long-term support. They look tempting on the shelf because they're cheap. But cheap is the most expensive lesson a buyer learns. You don't save money, you lose it twice. Second, what you should be careful with: Insignia, RCA, and Toshiba. These brands sit in the danger zone. They're not disasters, but they're not dependable either. They function until they don't. These are the TVs that lull you into a false sense of security. Good picture for a year or two, then vertical lines, dimming, color drift, unexplained reboots, lag that makes you question your sanity. If you want peace of mind, skip these too. Third, what you can buy, but know the trade-offs. Vizio and Samsung. Both brands have strengths, but also clear weaknesses. Vizio has fallen behind. Samsung looks fantastic in stores, but mid-range models quietly cut corners, skip Dolby Vision, and sometimes age poorly. These TVs can be good if you pick the right model. but you need to know exactly what you're buying, and most shoppers don't. Fourth, the brand's worth. Every dollar. This is where the real quality begins. LG, the OLED leader. TCL, the value champion. Sony, the picture quality king. If you want the best TV for your budget, it's almost always between these three. LG gives you pure OLED magic. TCL gives you shocking performance per dollar. Sony gives you the most beautiful image available on any TV in 2026. You cannot go wrong if you stay in this tier. Where you buy a TV matters more than ever. This is the part stores hope you never learn. Costco, the best place for TVs because of their 2-year warranty and 90-day return window. Costco silently eats failures manufacturers don't want to admit. If you want protection, shop here. Best Buy, good for high-end Sony and LG, but risky for budget picks. Insignia and Toshiba are placed strategically to look better than they really are. Walmart, N is everywhere. For a reason. Margins are high. Failure rates are higher. If you buy here, choose a real brand, not a house brand. Amazon, great for price drops, terrible for returns if something arrives damaged or develops issues later. How to make your TV last twice. As long a TV isn't just a screen, it's a sensitive panel that ages. Here's what most buyers never do. Turn down brightness from store mode. Avoid 24/7 news channels with static banners. Disable unnecessary motion processing. Keep ventilation clear. Run pixel refresher on OLED when prompted. Update software only if needed, not out of habit. Small habits, massive impact. A well-maintained TV can last 8 to 12 years. A neglected one dies in 3. The final warning. The TV industry doesn't want you to know which models fail early. They don't want you to know which brands are quietly cutting corners. They don't want you to know that in 2026, half the smart TV features exist only to justify higher prices, not to improve your experience. But now you know. Now you're armed. Now you can walk into Costco, Best Buy, or Walmart and instantly see through the marketing fog that tricks everyone else. If this video saved you money, if it stopped you from buying the wrong brand, if it helped you avoid a $700 mistake, hit like. Subscribe and stick with Frugal Choice, where spending smart starts with asking better questions.